At the base level, what is fitness?
Allowing yourself to move the way you want to move.
Weight or BMI. Do you think that those are accurate metrics?
If you find fitness expensive, try illness, spine health. You carry your emotions in your spine, and we're holding so much in, and we don't decompress.
Okay, what was your task at hand?
Brad Pitt. He went from the guy who never looked in the mirror to couldn't stop looking at himself in the mirror.
Aditya Roy Kapur's physique was very spoken about. What was that project like for you?
We have around 20 days for the body shot, and he's shooting 12-14 hours a day. If he had a 6 a.m. call time, wake him up at probably 5:30, go to the beach, do his AM runs, his fasted runs, come back. It was too much. Like, this again could be a traumatizing experience. So they had like a chef for him and Anil sir, and the chef, based on the nutrition, would, like, keeping the macros in mind, would cook something fancy for them. Aadarsh on the other hand liked it simple. He's like, I don't want to get into the fancy bit, and he used to do it at home, keep it simple. How do you meditate? Stillness in the mind, movement in the body. One objective, stay present.
Do we have limits within our mindset that is stopping us from achieving those fitness goals?
High-tech tools, low-tech you. You start getting more attention. Girls start talking to you more. It cannot go to your head.
Technique or movement that you would recommend for somebody, say, looking to lose weight? You're not going to like this next question. Do you have any lazy fitness hacks? What about people who are finally looking to invest in equipment?
Skipping rope, parallel bars, pull-up bar, one set of dumbbells, resistance band.
What are some incorrect practices are doing you more harm than good?
Lack of awareness. Deadlifts leads to a lot of injuries. It's a bend-over movement.
The role of steroids in the fitness industry. What about supplements? And are they really effective? And how do people know which supplements to buy? Let's do some myth busting. Fasted cardio is the best exercise for weight loss. Lifting weights will make you bulky and inflexible. Running damages your knees. You can't really build muscle on a vegetarian or vegan diet.
You can. Virat Kohli.
Yeah, I know. It's just
Sunil
gonna say.
Chhetri.
Yeah.
They're two of our greatest sportsmen.
What are the biggest mistakes people make when they approach fitness? Have you ever watched a movie star on screen and thought, how are they so ripped? This episode shows you how you can do that mindfully, sustainably. Hi, I'm Karishma Mehta. Welcome to Realign, the podcast, where we simplify the concepts of science, spirituality, and well-being to help you navigate the complexities of modern life. Today, we're joined by Behl, a movement expert and celebrity trainer. From training Aditya Roy Kapur for his role in The Night Manager to transforming Aadarsh Gourav for Kahan, he's done it all through his unique approach to the body and mind connection. In today's episode, Robin takes us on a fitness journey. He outlines the best regimes for you based on your fitness goals, reveals his hacks for at-home fitness, and gives us realistic steps to begin building a body where you truly feel at home. It's time to realign mind, body, and soul. Hi, Robin.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Lovely to have you on Realign.
Thank you.
Very excited to decode a lot of things with you and especially discuss movement, which is a passion of yours. But I'm going to start with something very fundamental and very basic, right? The idea of fitness is relatively abstract. Like, you would consider a bodybuilder fit, but you'd also consider somebody who's, like, say, in their 60s and 70s who are power walking fit. At the base level, what is fitness?
For me, at a base level, I'd say fitness would be freedom, generating freedom in the body, freedom in the mind, allowing yourself to move the way you want to move, which also frees up many parameters in your mind, you know, your emotional state, your mental state, your physical state. I think working in sync for me and to optimum level would mean fitness. You know, not having restrictions. Oh, I can't do this. If I can do 10 pull-ups in the gym, tomorrow you're at the park, it's a different bar. You can hang, you can't pull yourself up. For me, that's not being fit.
Yeah.
You can't adapt to different environments. You can't embrace chaos. The idea of being fit, for me, is to be able to move. And using movement as an expression to allow my body, mind, soul to, you know, express, to be there, to be where I want to be.
Correct. Is it that easy though, today?
It depends.
Okay.
It depends on every individual. It depends where you're at, what situation you're at, how you feel about yourself. if you don't feel a certain way about yourself, if you're unhappy with it, if you're happy with it, you need to find some sort of an entry point. And everyone can have a different entry point. For me, I'd say the entry point would be sport.
Okay.
For you, the entry point would be mindfulness. But you need to maneuver around it. You need to have the willingness to get into it and find your entry point into the whole realm of fitness, movement, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It can't be a generic thing where I, go and take a gym membership. It ain't going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're not in it, you're not in it.
Correct.
So for me, I would say it's not as easy if you're looking at it from a general standpoint of view, like the stereotypical view, like this is it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Let's say explore.
Correct.
Find different entry points. This may work, but that shouldn't be it.
Okay.
Find another one.
So what you're saying is a fairly subjective metric, but people generally, and so much content on the internet about how to measure fitness, right? In a quantifiable metric. So say like weight or BMI or all of these other different metrics that pop up. Do you think that those are accurate metrics to measure your fitness? Are there accurate metrics?
I would say you'll have readings which are not completely accurate, probably semi-accurate, but for me that wouldn't measure your fitness.
Okay.
That wouldn't measure your fitness. That wouldn't measure where you're at with your body. I have some clients who, if I put two of them next to each other, in terms of the metrics you mentioned, on the scale or on an in-body or, DEXA, one won't be close to the other. And on their readings, B might be fitter than A. But A could outperform B in anything I lay on the table.
Correct.
So it varies.
It varies.
It varies.
So it's not exactly quantifiable in that sense.
I would not agree.
Say. Okay. So let's talk on a body front, on the biological level. What is the scientific evidence or what is the scientific proven need for one to invest in their fitness on a biology level?
Like individually, right?
Yes.
I mean, there's so many. One is your mood. It directly affects your mood.
Yeah.
You start your day with a run, or you start your day with a quick session. It can set your day up.
Yeah.
Your energy levels, your sleep, your cardiovascular activities just keeps the heart pumping better. It can cure depression, work with anxiety. So it's endless.
Yeah.
It can keep going. It's just maybe even 30 minutes of your day that can make so many positive differences to your life by just staying active.
Yeah.
By just moving.
Yeah.
Even you might realize when you're in a slump or when you're not feeling good, it's hard to pick yourself up and go. You just want to indulge, you just want to eat. But that's where the mind comes in.
Yeah. No, sometimes, when you go through a long spell of not working out, you feel that I don't know, that really weighing down feeling, if I'm saying it right.
Yeah,
and then it's really difficult to get back into that first workout. But once you're there, like I find it extremely, like I feel a little bit disoriented when I have not worked out. I mean, I know what my life is without it, for me to be like, I need to work out in the morning.
But we just spoke of the why not.
The why and the why not. Exactly. Yeah.
If it can make you feel a certain way, why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if it's affecting you positively in so many ways, Karan, my partner, his grandfather is a well-known, he's a maestro in the fitness industry. He's 91. He still trains every day.
Wow.
And we actually set up this video of him and we put it out there on his 87th or 88th birthday. He's doing pull-ups. He's doing push-ups. He still looks at us, gives us advice. We still go to him. And he said this super interesting line, which he still tells us. He says, if you find fitness expensive, try illness.
Yeah.
Which it answers.
Wow. I think it just summarizes everything.
And it hits us every time he says it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about movement. What kind of movement actually contributes to fitness?
What kind of movement? All movements.
All movements.
We were born to move. Like as my teacher says, children are the best movers on the planet.
Yeah.
Because there's no terminology taming their process.
Yeah.
There's no do this, don't do that.
Lift this.
Don't lift that. Don't I'll censor it though, but Ido, my teacher, he's got a famous saying where he says, "Let them dirty the wall." Because as parents, we say, "No, don't dirty the walls, don't touch them, let them play."
Yeah.
Because they're the best movers.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I feel something everyone can incorporate more in their life based on my observations is spine health.
Okay.
You know, incorporating 5-10 minutes of spine work on the wall, a simple spinal wave, or even seated, some rotations, mobilizing the spine, keeping it healthy. Because one, the spine has no muscles that are going to be showing. So people don't want to spend time, people don't want to train it. Let's say, Karishma, tomorrow I take your arm. Can you live?
Yeah, I lift.
No, can you live the next day
live.
if you don't have an arm?
No, I mean,
You'd figure it out,
I'll
right?
figure it out.
Take the leg.
It's harder.
But you'll figure it out?
Yeah.
I take your spine.
Yeah, you can't do anything.
You have nothing. It holds everything.
Correct.
And not just anatomically, emotionally. You carry your emotions in your spine. Trauma. You're holding it. And we don't mobilize it. And now we're so compressed on our phones, our professions. Like even now, before we were speaking, both of us subconsciously
Yeah.
came in. But we're going in there. And we're holding so much in. And we don't decompress. Which is the opposite of it. Which I get from the practice. Where I think, depending on the time that I have, 10 minutes to 30 minutes every morning, I put a timer. I go in one corner at the studio, at the park, on my house, anywhere. And of course, I've been working with different patterns in the spine. And I spend that time in the spine. And again, not quantifiable. You may not see it.
Yeah.
But I know what it does for me.
What does it do for you?
It opens up so much for me in terms of my mind, my vision. You know, it's like my neurological makeup.
Wow.
You know what I mean? You put
Yeah.
makeup. You may not see it. I might not look as sexy as lifting. I mean, I don't look sexy at all, but like, you know, lifting something. But for me, that the internal makeup, it's helping me organize myself better,
Correct.
organize my structure better, keeping that fluidity. Can probably sit like this with you for 5 hours, get up without that.
That crack. Yeah.
Easy. But as fitness people, as fitness enthusiasts, as just people who love to train and go to the studio, we don't want to spend time there because it's not going to give me the burn. It's not going to give me a pump.
It won't give you that endorphin hit that
Exactly.
you're looking for.
Which, as I said, the makeup, the the inner value. The inner value. Ido says, work towards the invisible changes.
Yeah, most often the changes that you don't see are the ones that matter the most. Like
Stay.
people ask me, why do you meditate? And I was like, how do I explain this? Like, I wish I could show you brain activity. I mean, there's scientific evidence
course.
out there that shows you your brain directly before and right after meditation, and it's two different brains almost.
Yeah.
But like, if once you sense that state of balance and alignment, I wouldn't do it any other way. And like I said this like a couple of weeks ago, I was like, I had a really important day and really hectic and had to make like some massive decisions. So that day, instead of 40 minutes, I meditated for an hour because I needed it. So I completely buy into the invisible work that you do internally.
You answered the question you asked me. What did you do?
Yeah.
You organized the body
Yeah.
by setting aside 60 minutes and just staying present and making internal observations. You know?
Yeah.
Simply what I'm doing with my spine, I'm keeping my spine mobile. I'm releasing the tension, letting the emotions flow, accepting, moving, and moreover, not afraid to be the weirdo. Because
The weirdo on the wall.
the weirdo. If there are people who walk in the studio first time and they look at this, they look at me, you know, and I can see them, but don't be afraid to be the weirdo. You do your thing, and a week into it, I had 5 people with me.
Really?
I had 5 people with me, and now majority of my clients are slip disc, back, knees. So in terms of rehab, because I have no magic tool.
Yeah.
But it's just that, okay, I'm ready to step away from the weights for a bit. It's not that I don't do that. I love training. I love strength training. I love weight training also. But I also love suppleness.
Yeah.
Like this year for me, I'm working more towards suppleness. I'm working more towards internal connections, but that's what it is.
Very interesting.
You always feel like, I have only 1 hour with this client. Let me make them feel like,
that burn.
but it's not that.
Yeah.
So when someone comes to me, I said, give me time. And
So how
trust
long
me.
do you typically take with your clients?
13 minutes and 40. No, there's no time. It depends on who comes through.
Okay, say somebody comes
I'll
through.
give you an example.
Yeah.
Adarsh. Adarsh, I call him Adarsh. Gaurav Adarsh for Gaye.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with spine, but with the timeline. Arjun, the director, came to me, said, Robbie, Robbie. I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. I said, okay,
Okay, what was your task at hand?
Brad Pitt. He got in this.
What an easy task.
He got this guy, Adarsh, this skinny guy, and he had been training.
On his
So it's
own.
not, no, he was training with another professional.
Okay.
And he came to me, and I've just gotten back from Mexico. I lived there all through the pandemic, so I was in my hippie phase, easy. I hate the city. Bombay is not for me. I don't even know if I'm gonna. So I was there, and this guy walks in. Arjun walks in with Adarsh, and Robbie, I need him to look like Brad Pitt from Fight Club. I said, okay, how long are you giving me? He's like, I'm giving you 5 months. I was like, okay, realistically, because I don't want to resort to any external tools.
Yeah.
I said, if I'm doing it, I'm going to do it my way, because my teachers living in Shaolin, and it's a background that I respect. I don't want to disrespect my way through just because,
Yeah.
I can be without it. Okay. And now Adarsh, for him, it's a big film. He's got to look a certain way. So he's also stressing about it. We have fought. He's called me up and been like, this is not working, we need to do. And the first thing I told him on day one, I said, Adarsh, give me time. And just trust the process. If you don't trust me, I may be the best guy for the job, I may be the shittiest guy for the job. It ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
It's a relationship now.
Yeah.
We go to our own homes, but we're together. So we have to. And there's the first actor I kind of took on for a project. And then night manager happened simultaneously. Man, he's called me, panic calls. Robin, this is not working out. It's already January. This is not going to happen. This, that. I said, okay, you find someone else for the job. I don't think it's going to work out. He's called Arjun. Arjun has called me. We are on a conference call. And Arjun's like, guys, stop it. Figure it out and go. But of course, Adarsh also, I get where he's coming from, but I had to make him trust me. So when at some point I had to show some authority. 2 days later, we were okay. Eventually, we had 3 or 4 such episodes. But once he started, I told him there'll be a point where I accelerate.
Yeah.
Then we're good. Yeah. When we did that, he's like, okay. But if he didn't trust me beyond that point, we would never get there. Which is what I mean by when I tell someone, give me time.
Yeah.
So slowing down, giving it time, the process, it's a shift that we need. It's hard in the city.
Super.
Because I find myself changing to it.
Yeah, because there's so much stimulation all the time that to be without the stimulation is very alienating. At least I find it very alienating.
It is.
I mean, I can be in meditation. I can do all of that. That's compartmentalized. That's for meditation time. But after that, I need to be just going.
Fair. How do you meditate? Where? If I may ask.
Yeah, at home. I do, it depends. Like sometimes I do a guided, but other times I do Sudarshan Kriya. I've done Art of Living. I do breathing. Sometimes I'm just in Sahaj, which is just breath work. Just this.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What I ask is at home, in the mountains, in the river, we can meditate. So I don't meditate. I practice stillness.
Yeah.
Stillness in the mind, movement in the body. So I find a spot, either standing stillness, eye open, eye shut, seated in different positions, and one objective, stay present. Thoughts come? Bye. It comes back. To meet Karishma today, she's gonna surprise me with something. Boom. No, not now. Not now. It's a process. It keeps coming.
And you can shut it down.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can shut it down.
And I'll come back. But the key, what I'm trying to say is, ever try meditating in chaos? Finding that center, what you found, like what you said right now, I can stay present, I can disconnect amidst chaos.
Tough.
Of course, but special.
Yeah.
an art in itself.
Correct.
And so there amongst all of that, someone screaming, someone fighting, and then how do you pull it?
Yeah. How do you pull it?
How do you pull it? How do you pull it?
Yeah.
We try that, Karan and me, at the studio when there's some music playing and people are screaming and saying, I don't want to do it. We try, fine. But that somehow in the city
Game changer.
has helped me stay tranquilo.
Okay, so let's talk about mindset. What is the impact of mindset on fitness? Do we have, say, limits within our mindset that is stopping us from achieving those fitness goals?
Absolutely. So it's like you set your own ceiling, right?
Yeah.
Your limitations. You decide for yourself. One, the mindset is, this is not for me. That's where it starts and ends. No. Explore.
Yeah.
Like that's what we spoke of earlier. Explore your entry point.
Yeah.
Try, fail, try again.
Yeah.
So the mindset one is that I use, which may not in layman's terms it works as, you got to be hungry. You got to be hungry. If you're not hungry, I can't feed you. Because I can put it there. You got to eat.
Yeah.
And you got to have it. So the mindset has to be the willingness from oneself. It cannot be pressure.
Okay.
It cannot be pressure from elsewhere that, the classic examples I get, my parents want to get me married in some time. I need to lose weight. Oh, I am getting married. No, don't do it for that. Do it for yourself. Do it to add years to your lifespan. Do it to be able to play with your children when you're even 50, 60, 70. Create that sustainability, the longevity in your life that allows you to move for as long as you can.
Yeah.
With complete freedom, not be one of those guys, with a stick. No, you don't want to be that.
Yeah, it's so funny because sometimes you see the same age people so drastically different. Like, so it's unbelievable because like one is like fit and agile and fun and full of life, and the other is kind of decrepit, given up to life, right?
And forget even aesthetically, just the body language, as we spoke of the biological effects, the mood, how active you are, and you can tell. You can tell in the posture, and then it's you once you open that gateway for let's say like a lazy lifestyle, it's hard to get out of it as the years keep going on.
Yeah.
So anyone can move. We've got the tools. We've got the greatest machinery that has been given to us.
Yeah.
But we don't.
Yeah.
Like, very popular for me quote, is Ido, when he says is, high-tech tools, low-tech you. People keep asking me, this tool, these shoes, it's you.
Yeah.
The tool is you. The machinery is you. Set that mindset that you can get out there, break that barrier, set another one, crush that one, and then keep going.
Crush the other. Yeah.
It's never. The language is complexity, right? I'm not here to, like, let's say a handstand. You get a handstand, you want to move to a handstand push-up. You want to move to a single arm. You want to move to soft acrobatics from there. It never ends.
That's good.
Similarly with the mindset also, it shouldn't be for a certain thing. It should be for you.
Yeah.
It should be for your lifestyle. It should be to move as long as you can move. But it should be coming from you.
Yeah. And for the right reason.
For the right reasons.
Yeah. So what are some of the techniques or ways one can use to train their mindset better?
I'd say start with stillness. Try finding stillness for yourself. Stand facing a wall for 10 minutes with your eyes shut, eyes open. One objective, don't move. You do it for 60 seconds the first attempt, I'll give you anything. You can't. Because...
Don't move at all?
No moving.
Okay.
Like standing stillness. What are you doing there? Suddenly, when I'm standing, I'm facing that wall, your nose, which has not itched in the last 20 years, is going to feel itchy.
Yeah.
And you're going to want to, just stare that shit off. Suddenly, you want to adjust your top.
Yeah.
You feel exactly.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I'm feeling it now.
because I told you not to do it.
Yeah.
I told you to stay still. Suddenly, you want to move. And
Monkey mind.
monkey mind. But start with that.
Yeah.
Create that threshold within you to say, okay, I got to not move for 60 seconds. My nose is scratching. It'll wait. Another thing which I won't have an answer for your counter is scratch it with your mind. How? Figure it out.
You'll figure it out.
Use it.
Yeah.
Use it. Once my teacher took us to a park. He took us to a park, which I don't know what the theory there is, but he knows there are a lot of flies. And he made us do a 20-minute standing stillness in the middle of that. And they're constantly there. And, we want to, but we can't. Because one, it's a privilege to just be studying under that teacher. So when you're there, you want to be the best student.
Yeah.
You don't,
Yeah.
you don't want to. And then two, you're there, no. No. What? But that opened so many doors for me, which I didn't believe I could. It opens doors. And what perspective also, right? Another object manipulation is another subject that I like to use. Other than my spine work, I keep 15 to 20 minutes aside and I give myself a task with an object, small object, big object. I use tennis balls, small short sticks. Right now, I'm trying to juggle 4 balls. I put a 15 to 20 minute timer in a corner and I'm working. I'm almost there and I have one task. 4 balls, 15 minutes, success, failure, doesn't matter. You finish, leave. But for those 15-20 minutes, do not disconnect from the task.
Wow.
Stay dialed in. Let whatever's happening happen. You don't like the song? Deal with it.
Yeah.
What's your task right now?
The tennis balls.
Drop it 100 times. No problem. But staying dialed in. I mean, I'm probably not going to be a circus freak, but it's doing so much for me. Again, coming to the neurological makeup.
Correct. So the way that one can begin is finding the entry point and then
Finding the entry point through the mind is allowing the mind to take decisions. But not the decision it wants to take, the decision you want the mind to take. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how will that task help me? Suddenly, I've done this 15 minutes for 2 weeks. I leave and I was like, okay, I want to start training. I got to train 5 days a week for an hour. Okay, that's my task. I'm going to make sure I train 5 days a week for an hour. Because now I'm accustomed to being able to handle a task
yeah.
and complete the task.
Yeah. What about the correlation between physical fitness and mental health? For example, a lot of people say going to the gym is therapeutic for me, right? Like it's super like, also it's addictive. Like I'm telling you from experience that on days that I don't work out, I feel it. I feel not aligned.
Sluggish.
Yeah, like I'm just like, I'm not as active. I'm not as, like I'm not going. Is there a correlation?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You must have heard, I'm going to go for a run, burn off some steam. You know, what I said, movement in the body, stillness in the mind.
Yeah.
You're allowing yourself, when you're moving, when you're training, when you're performing, it could be in the gym, it could be a run, it could be playing a sport, you are expressing. When you're dancing, you are expressing. It's a form of a release. You know, it's like, and you open a couple of buttons. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it does, it's like decluttering. You're training gradually you're decluttering the mind. You're allowing yourself the bloodstream to move better, to think better, to take better decisions.
Yeah.
You know, to work better. And I'd say more than mental health, to be more specific, your personal life,
Yeah.
your professional life, you know, your relationships with your partner, with your family, all in all, because it keeps you a little subtle. It keeps you a little more understanding. It also calms you down. Again, now I'm not talking about like heavy lifting and metal and going crazy. That is therapeutic as well.
Yeah. For a lot of people, that's
find
therapeutic.
therapy
Yeah,
in that,
100%.
and to each its own.
Yeah.
They do. But I'm saying don't judge by the cover. That's when they're training.
Yeah.
It also might,
Yeah.
help you settle in. And then you have another aspect of it, like Aadarsh or Adi, when you're doing it for a project. Then it's a different ball game. They have no other option. So then at that point, they're not doing it for themselves as much. They're doing it for the character they're playing, for their professionalism, for their career. So then it goes into a space where it can be a traumatizing experience also. Like for Aadarsh, I wouldn't say as much because we took our time with it, but the food, the meat, the amount I had to make the guy eat because he's not a very big guy, it could have been a traumatizing experience. And now if he gets a fitness film and he has to do it again, he might be like, no, like no.
It's pure vegetarian, poor guy.
I have to. So that's separate.
Yeah.
That's separate.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I don't think I have the mental stamina to do that.
Which part?
The meat. Yeah.
There are ways.
Yeah, I know.
There are ways.
But like when I heard that, I was just like, oh my God. Like, yeah, I don't think I have the...
But he's like, I'll take this route. We spoke to him, we explored, and we told him, listen, it's the safest route right now. And he said, okay. He was easy that time. He said, okay, just give me a bit. And his nutritionist and me are like best friends.
Okay.
We started on this journey together, and she was operating from London.
Okay.
But I was here, so the sync, he had to just do as I say at that point.
Like, just trust me.
Just trust the process. So we all were like, it was a good team.
Yeah.
It was a good team. I miss it.
Yeah. So do you have any particular client who has used or mobilized their mindset to transform their body?
Yeah, one guy.
Okay.
I love him.
Who?
And I hope he never hears this, sorry. But because the day he does, I don't want it to go to his head. His name is Parth Vora.
Okay.
I do movement camps. In Bombay, I've done 2 for 2 or 3 weeks. Because I know if I start like a batch, people won't commit. So I do 2-week intensives where I share as much as I can, reorganize themselves, the makeup, work with different tools. So he joined my movement camp. He was 140 kgs. He couldn't, in a deep squat also, foundation of compression. It was difficult for him naturally. His body is taking that much load. He's not very tall also. He must be like 5'6", 5'7" at most. He did that camp with me, of course. He came in hungry. And anyone who comes, I tell them, okay, commit or don't join.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to invest in somebody who's not ready to commit, because if I invest in my students, I like to go in with them, I'm in with you. He did it, and then after that he came to me and said, I want you to train me. And I said, depends on how much you want to train and how hungry are you. He said, I'll do what it takes. I said, okay, same thing. I said, trust the process and give me time. Nothing under my, don't go against anything, or let's talk. If anything, we'll communicate. Today we are at 94.
Wow.
It's been a year, 3 months, a year, 2 months. I've taken my time because I have to also keep in mind that he's 140 kgs when we started. As we keep training and dropping weight, it's that much load on his knees, that much load on his ankles, that much, and everywhere. Cannot afford injury because that'll set him back.
Yeah.
And to have such a mindset from going a lifestyle of drinking, eating whatever comes in front of you with zero, it was crazy. But he was so hungry that even till today, every few months, if I call him at 4 a.m., I say, Parth, I'm training you at 4 a.m. Done, boss. He's there. I only do that to test him. I don't really torture him, so I'm just putting it out there. But he's that dedicated, and I learned so much from him. And not only that, he has inspired so many people in the space, out of the space. We did a Midday article together.
Wow.
Someone saw it off Instagram, and journalist from Midday, Sonia, who does a lot of, it was great. His family was so happy because, he was a guy who was, and I give him a piece of paper. I say, write down what you're feeling, where you think, where you're at, where you want to be. Don't show it to me. Write it, keep it in your pocket, spend 10 minutes of stillness with it. Now your objective is to be still, but with those thoughts. Keep it. I come back to it. After 3 months, I say, you want to share? Share. If you don't want to, you know where you're at. If you've not made the changes, make the changes now. And he's been doing incredibly. I think the best part is the communication and the trust with him. Even if I feel I'm having an off day, I say, Parth, today is not my day. Allow me some time. He's like, no, we'll do it. So great. I had a point where he became a real inspiration, going from 140 when he was closing 105. he was all over the tribe stories, tribe Instagram, people were talking, and I realized I'm screwed because that can take a turn.
Yeah, you became complacent?
Not me.
No, as in he becomes complacent.
And I could sense it.
Okay.
So I had to step him away. And I had to sit
Yeah.
him down.
Yeah.
I said, and he actually said this to the journalist. He wasn't supposed to, but might as well now. I said, Pat, this is where we split ways. Like, because, I told you, till we are together, we need to have a certain discipline. We need to move consistently and a mindset. If I see that shifting, we'll part, or maybe it's me. No, he got it.
Yeah.
He said no more. 2-3 days, switched back, hungrier than ever.
Wow.
And it was because that I've seen that. You start getting more attention. Girls start talking to you more. Girls who've never suddenly, it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry.
Yeah, it
But
is.
and suddenly it goes to your head. It cannot go to your head. Of course, I'm looking at it from a selfish point of view. I want him, like, he's added 15 years to his lifespan
Wow.
right now, from where he was to what he does. He's not had sugar in since I've started. And I've told him on my birthday, or when we went under 100, I said, I'm gonna have a drink with you today and you will have it with me. He says, you have it, but I'm off that now. I don't feel it. So it's not like it's a craving. He's made a major shift. And I've learned so much from the guy.
That's insane.
I've had to do so much research for the process that I feel like it's
Yeah.
great. His family is, he sends me, I know exactly what's going on with his company. Because I get updates, not because I ask him, because he'll tell me, I've never worked like this. I did blah, 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 blah. I was like, great, I don't understand it, but I'm happy for you.
It sounds great. Yeah.
The family is happy, and it's just the relationship with the family is amazing.
Better,
And
yeah.
like it was, I don't know what it was, but it's
Yeah,
great.
it's
I know
great.
that
Yeah,
much
yeah,
because I'm
yeah.
in touch with. So that shit inspires you
It's
too,
insane.
more than the
Yeah.
other person.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we discuss more on movement? And you've obviously experimented so much with different forms, right? Like
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu and surfing and just stuff on the wall that I don't know what it's exactly called. But so we have fitness concerns. So what would your recommendation be in terms of the ideal movement for that concern? And I'm
Okay.
going to read those out to you.
Okay. I didn't quite understand, but let's go with it. Let's go with it.
Okay, so the best technique or movement that you would recommend for somebody, say, looking to lose weight?
It's not like a standardized method that you just go with, but I'd say your
Largely.
training, largely strength training, some cardio, calorie deficit, good sleep, good relationship with your family, and avoid the stress
Okay.
as much as you can. Makes a difference.
What about weight gain?
Similarly, I'd say, okay, we'll reduce the cardio bits and be in a calorie surplus. The relationship with the family stays. Okay, but yeah, strength, weight training, being in a calorie surplus.
Okay.
I'm eating more than of course, your macros being guided by a nutritionist, breakdown of your carbs, fats, proteins that your body needs in order to recover and keep training. Because again, if you might be training hard thinking, I'm going to gain weight, gain muscle, but if you're not eating enough,
It's not good
it's
for you.
not gonna
Yeah.
it's not gonna work.
What about strength building?
Similarly, strength building, I would say I like to give myself strength projects.
Okay. Can
So
you
I give
elaborate?
myself a strength project where a pulling goal, a pushing goal, and a goal with my lower body. Like right now, I'm working on a ring single arm chin. I'm working on a single arm push up for 10 counts or 5 sets. I'm working on a dragon squat, taking my leg from behind. So that's the goal now.
Yeah.
What I've done is I've developed a structure in order to reach that goal. So I've isolated the movements and
Correct.
going through a process to reach that in maybe like 12-week phase, or if it's a complex movement, it may take longer. But let's say for 6 weeks, one cycle, give yourself a strength project and give yourself a pulling goal, give yourself a pushing goal. Break it down depending on where you are with it,
Right.
and then move there. Maintaining your balanced diet, making sure your macros are good, making sure you're eating on time, making sure you're sleeping well, you're recovering well. Because if you're not recovering well,
Yeah.
it all in all, it will crash at a point.
100%.
So you need to keep those factors also. There are days where your body will say, chill.
Just relax.
Yeah, so take it easy then.
What about lean or like muscle building?
Again, training structure would depend individual to individual. Your nutrition counts. Your nutrition and recovery plays a big role in this. Like Aadarsh, best example, because people have seen his transformation also, and it's been all over my Instagram last week. So for him, he was on a 3,000 plus calorie diet, but he was eating a lot, which is the point where he felt like, man, I'm looking bulky and chunky, and that's not what we had to look.
Yeah, we had to look shredded.
Exactly, but I allowed it time for him to gain that kind of muscle to reach a certain point where he was strong. Because if I did it immediately, he'd look skinny. So we got to that point, and then we got to a certain framework from where I could do anything.
Yeah.
And then I called up Misty. I was like, okay, partner, we're ready. Now make the switch. We went from 3,000 to 26, 24. Eventually, we were on like 1,700, 1,650, 1,700 calories. But he was the happiest because he was he was like a feather, but agile, but he was muscular, and he was completely,
Yeah.
He went from the guy who never looked in the mirror to couldn't stop looking at himself in the mirror.
Yeah, that's a good feeling. It's a good feeling.
Where the attention comes in. So I had to also tell him, I said, it will come in, but we cannot drift.
Yeah.
But he didn't need it. He's too sharp.
Yeah,
He's too sharp.
What about stamina?
A lot of endurance training.
Okay.
A lot of endurance training.
Give
long
me an
runs,
example.
Long runs, interval runs also. Jogging, walking, building it up, depending where you're at. A lot of, you can work HIIT also. That's high intensity training. It builds up. And, but yeah, I'd say long runs, working higher reps, depending if you're working muscle endurance or your cardio endurance in terms of where you're working at. But I'd say don't just do long runs with no strength training.
Yeah.
Protect the joints.
Correct.
So you need a mix of everything.
Overall health.
Call me.
Okay, yeah, that's good advice. We'll leave it at call me. So like everything in life, one of the hardest things to do is to begin. The first step. Like, how do I get myself to wake up early, to meditate, to work out? Of course, we spoke a little bit about mindset. And once you have that routine, how to scale it, that's different. Once you already have it. But how do you get to it is my question. And what's the best way that you can get yourself to enjoy the process of working out? Where it's not looking like, oh man, I have to go to the gym. Or like it's like super hard, like a chore almost.
I'd say first step is identify why. Identify the why. Because, I wake up today, I say, okay, I want to work out, or I have this feeling right now that I want to wake up early tomorrow. Why? It's coming from somewhere. There's a root cause to it. No, because I need to fix this. I need to get a routine in place. My energy levels are low if I'm waking up at noon. So identifying the why is great, but your next step is the hard one. Accepting it. Accepting that, okay, this is how it is right now, and I need to make a change.
Yeah.
Because that changes something inside you. Like, I mentioned earlier, external forces push you away. If I have someone sitting on my head to do it, I don't want to do it all the more. It's, it's classic behavior. So identifying it, accepting it, and okay, this is where I'm going wrong.
Yeah.
This is what I need to do because I'm not in the right trajectory. I need to change something up. And then once you've done that, the entire entry process becomes much easier. Because then you're hungry. Okay. Then you're hungry to go. Then you're like, okay.
Now I can. Now I want to do it.
Now I gotta.
Yeah, I gotta.
And there's no other way. I gotta work. And I gotta work for it.
I have a feeling you're not gonna like this next question. But I'll ask it anyway. Yeah. Do you have any lazy fitness hacks for people who don't want to commit to a full workout but want to stay active and moving?
No half shit.
See, I knew it.
No. We do it with maximum efficiency. So what I'd say to that is start small. You don't need to invest an hour a day. You don't need to invest 45 minutes a day or a lot of money on a fancy place or a personal trainer initially. If you have the right idea, start small. Start with some breath work. Set a routine, 10 minutes of breath work. Okay, now, week 2, I'm going to do 10 minutes of breath work with a little bit of stretching. I'm going to do a little bit of shaking or hanging or
The wall.
with some spine work on the wall. So I'd say start small. But if you're doing it, man, do it right.
Yeah. So for people who are watching, what is something that they can do right now on their couch to begin moving? Are there any,
On their couch.
Yeah, and any small exercises that they can do just to begin the process of moving.
They can explore different motions in the spine, with the shoulder blade, with the scapula, with the wrists. Another movement that I like, that I might have to move the mic for, but okay, now
Yeah, you can move it.
I'll try playing around it. Is there's too much stuff happening. Is probably just a figure 8, going up, finding some mobility in the shoulders, opening out. This is a golden tool that I first look at shoulder problems and I give it in. So if you try it with me if you have space. You're on the couch too. With the other hand.
I'm an observer.
Try it with the other hand.
It's
Go
not my main
under.
hand. Okay.
First think you're holding a hot cup of coffee.
Oh, so
You don't want to drop it.
Okay.
So the palm face sort of go under, without dropping it, open. Take it over.
I dropped it.
White couch.
It's fine.
But-
It's one of those materials that you can just...
Yeah, but that's not the point. But golden tools, figure 8, like moving it, you'll feel the shoulder open, take it.
I dropped it. Yeah. Okay,
But
so you can figure it
You were
out.
dialed in. So that counts.
Yeah.
With the head, just bouncing the shoulders, keeping it subtle. We have this tendency. We shrug. We carry so much tension here.
Yeah.
We shrug. You notice a lot of people, if I say boo, boo, it's that, find that softness there. Even people lifting, the neck hurts because,
Yeah.
small movements. You can do it always. If you notice my ankles also, I'm always playing there. I'm finding different angles, moving, even with the fingers, just finding separations there and moving.
So there's a
small
bunch of things that people
It's
can
a
do.
bunch of things.
Right.
You can test your peripheral vision. I'm looking at you, but I'm trying to test to see how wide I can go from there.
Yeah.
Creating more spatial awareness. Small tools, again, invisible changes, neurological makeup, but works.
Okay. You spoke about something earlier, where you said that if it's accessible or if you if it's affordable to you for a gym trainer or the time or the bandwidth, whatever. What if people don't have access to a trainer or like equipment, for example? What are some of the things that they can do to begin?
Like at home?
Yeah, at home.
Like at home, right? In terms of equipment, I think you can be super creative. You can use hand towels as sliders on the floor. You can use a chair or a sofa for an elevation. You can use a thick pillow as a punching bag, place it on the floor. But you can use water bottles as weights. 2-liter water bottles as weights. You can fill up a school bag with books. There's multiple options, but first I'd say is educate yourself.
Okay.
Educate yourself about what you're doing, create that awareness, ask for help, ask for some guidance. I would say no YouTube videos preferably, because there might be some really good ones out there, but then there's also stuff that there's a lot of room for error.
So give me some resources. What should people educate themselves? Where should people educate themselves?
Read about it.
Okay.
Understand anatomy, or ask for guidance. Do workshops. There's multiple workshops, online workshops out there which don't even cost a lot, on understanding the essentials of training, the fundamentals of training, the fundamentals of the body, and learn. Or probably if you can, have a consultation or do a couple of personal training classes which you can afford initially, just to understand, get your fundamentals in place, get your questions answered, and understand, okay, this is what I want to achieve, this is how I can structure myself in, and get involved in it.
Okay.
And if not, there are other basic tools also that, there were people running marathons in their homes during COVID.
No way.
Yeah. People have run 10Ks in their home.
That's insane.
So, I mean, if you're hungry, you'll find a way.
You'll find a way. Okay.
You'll find a way.
What about people who are finally looking to invest in equipment? What are the first 3 things you would ask them to buy that would cover a good enough palette?
3,
Yeah.
4. Can I say 4?
Okay, 4.
I don't know. A skipping rope,
Okay.
parallel bars. You get like portable parallel bars. It takes no space. A set of dumbbells. I'd say, maybe 5 kgs
Yeah.
works. And the 4th, if possible, a bar. A pull-up bar. If not even to do pull-ups, just to hang.
Yeah.
Because that's another tool I use a lot for myself, for my students. For my dad, he's had 3 spine surgeries.
Oh my God.
So for him, why? We spoke of how compressed we live our
Yeah.
lives. That's the one thing that's decompressing you when you're hanging.
The bar.
And who's doing the work for you? The greatest force of gravity.
Yeah.
The greatest force of nature, gravity.
Yeah.
It's pulling you down. Yeah. So you're there. It's decompressing. It's aligning the shoulders. It's aligning the spine. Just there.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good
30
beginning.
seconds. Yeah. Throughout the day, if you can accumulate maybe even 2 minutes of 10 seconds, 20 seconds, it's a great tool.
I've seen this often. When I go to people's home who have that, they very randomly will hang from it. And it's just very seamless. Like, like while walking, while talking, it's like a 20, 30 second. And I've always wondered, like, why?
I'm not sure if they're doing it with the same intention.
Yeah.
But let them dirty the walls.
Yeah.
Don't let them do, as long as they're doing it. Children, again,
Yeah.
going back to that example. They're playing, they're hanging.
They're doing everything.
They're doing everything, and I love it. In a city, I don't see it so much, but like my teacher's daughter, and that's the town I was talking about.
Yeah.
I love watching her. She's hanging, she's swinging, she's falling, but fearlessly.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
I love it. So that tool, that bar, and then you can do a number of things on it. If you're giving me a 5th tool, I'd say 1 resistance band also.
Okay. So let's
It's a
summarize.
home tool.
5.
Skipping rope, parallel bars, a pull-up bar, 1 set of dumbbells, and maybe a medium resistance band, medium grade resistance band.
Okay.
So you can use it on the bar, you can use it on the tools, you can use it with the dumbbells.
Okay.
And you can find hacks in the house to rig it too.
Okay. Fab.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about safety in training.
Okay.
Because there are so many studies now that show like gym related deaths. Like there are a few articles about like the increase in cardiac arrests related to maybe practices or techniques that weren't applied correctly while being in the gym, while working out, because there is a lot of misinformation right out there. Like you said, don't watch YouTube videos. I mean, some would be great, some may not be great. So what do you think? What are some incorrect gym practices or techniques that people do but are doing you more harm than good?
One, I would say that, before getting in to any sort of like physical practice at any age or post an injury or
Surgery.
Have your medical history communicated. It is super important, a consultation with your coach or even in the studio, even if like our studios only, like we have no one who just comes in and does that stuff.
Okay.
Everyone is coming for a coach. It's not a gym.
Okay.
So it's different. Our coach would do a consultation. We know the medical history and we'd work around that. But I think one is it's increasing because people are not aware how important it is to share their medical history before getting in. Some people also look at it as an ego thing or be like, he'll go easy on me and I want to push more. I'm fine. It doesn't work that way. We need to know what's up.
Yeah.
And in terms of safety regarding, issues, common injuries, it's lack of awareness.
Really?
It's lack of awareness and ego. A lot of ego. When people try to ego lift or,
like I'll do it. I'll lift that.
You're doing it, I'll do it.
Yeah. That's
Or you don't think I can lift? I can lift. No.
Listen to your body.
Not only that. Listen to your body, yes. Also, know your limitations. Know your quality. When you feel that quality dropping, it's not about no quality. If you're performing, as we said, nothing half-assed,
Yeah.
with quality. So if that weight works, that weight works. But we get into that whole boost of, testosterone. We want to pump. No. We want to. So that is a common area, I tell them, I was like, the ego, leave it at the door. And while leaving, take it with you.
Just in this time, leave it at the door.
I don't want it.
You
You
don't.
keep it there, but take it home. Because it does. And a lot of times it's me versus you.
Yeah.
It's not me versus you. It's you versus you.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
about how you can get that little bit better every single
Day. Yeah, 100%.
So these small
Things.
slips,
But there are no such common exercise regimes that you can think of that people do participate in, but are
like
not
certain
that-
movements like
Yeah.
deadlifts. It's a move leads to a lot of injuries. It's a bend over movement. You're loading it a lot. If done wrong, a lot of lower back injuries there. A lot of bent over movements also. Then people running like crazy on the treadmill. People running hard, stomping and going, you're just hammering the joints. Box jumps,
I don't know what that is.
like when people jump on high boxes.
Oh, yeah.
They don't make it, they fall. A lot of shin injuries while coming down, twisting ankles, sometimes on the knees. These are
painful.
common. Pressing heavy chest press, heavy shoulder press. They're going. So these are common lifting ones, but then again, injury is part and parcel. It's not that you can completely avoid it, but of course you can work safer.
Yeah.
You can what I like to say is bulletproof yourself. Bulletproof yourself in certain ways by the small things, the ankle, the spine, the wrists. We don't want to train the small muscles. We want what shows,
Yeah.
but then again, I'm lifting so heavy, what shows? My wrist can't hold it, boom. Spend time.
Yeah.
Spend time on the suppleness, spend time on the smaller areas that are doing a lot more than you know. Like your tibialis, like just that little thing there. Wrists, the elbows. It makes a difference.
Yeah.
So lack of education, lack of awareness, ego. And what's the other one I said? Yeah, medical history.
Let's talk about a little bit about mindset now. You've worked with Gaurav, Aadarsh, and then Night Manager happened. Of course, Night Manager, just in terms of Aditya Roy Kapur's physique, was very spoken about for good reason. So, what was that project like for you, and what was your goal in mind to sculpt him in that particular
Manager?
way? Yeah, Night Manager.
Okay.
What was your how did you sculpt him?
Man, the guy's sculpted himself.
Oh, he's already
Adi's-
sculpted.
No. He wasn't back then, but like he's a tall, broad guy, So he's got an amazing frame.
Yeah.
The work for me was moreover getting him to train. And then while we were there, we were training because I got a call quite late in for Night Manager, and I think he was on another project. We were getting in, we had to make a complete switch
Switch from?
from his previous role, from what he was doing. So he didn't have to be in any physical condition for that.
Yeah.
So he was focused more on his character there. And suddenly he was coming on to Night Manager. He had to look solid. He was playing like an ex-army guy.
Yeah.
And, he was playing this agent who comes in. So he didn't have to look too built. Like it couldn't be an aesthetic gym body. I mean, this is the brief that I got, that if it's an aesthetic gym body, Robin, I'm going to catch you. But he should look sharp. And of course, he's got to look sexy. It's got to look aesthetic. And he's Aditya Roy Kapur also. So
Yeah.
he was always going to look good. It was crazy because we moved to Sri Lanka immediately. So I had only less than 2 weeks with him in Bombay, where we were training every day based on a schedule. He has a gym set up at home. So if he couldn't go to the gym, there's no cancelling. I said, I'm coming. We're doing it there. We have to do it because we don't have time.
Yeah.
And tomorrow, if anything, of course, how Adi will look, even my name would be attached to it. And we went with it. He was on his meal plans. He was in a major deficit because we had to cut down. And managing his macros, training, making sure we don't miss, making sure we're not cheating, staying on board with that. Next thing, we go to Sri Lanka. We have around 20 days for the body shot. and he's shooting 12, 14 hours a day. Now with that, I don't have to only manage his physical thing, but also the mental state, the emotional state, you know. Acting is also pretty exhausting for them. They're in it, you know, they're absorbed by it. And you come back after a long day and they're shooting in the sun.
Just want to
And we
pass
were on a
out,
beach down there. Yeah, but I'd be sitting there. I'm like, Adi, there's no way. You touch that bed, you're out. And initially, he wasn't enjoying me too much. Or at least, you know, it comes across. But it's completely understandable. But there was no other way.
Yeah.
There's no other way. Then I wake him up in the morning. If he had a 6 a.m. call time, wake him up at probably 5:30. The beach was down. Like we were on the beach. They were shooting in this fancy place. We go to the beach, do his AM runs, his fasted runs, come back. Okay, take on your day. And he'd go, he'd shoot, come back. I'd be waiting there. Ideally, I would not recommend that. You know, it was too much. Like this again could be a traumatizing experience at some point. But it had to be done because this profession demands it.
Yeah.
And the goal this time was aesthetic. So we had to
Aesthetic Adi.
do it. Aesthetic. Yeah, I mean.
But he's pretty aesthetic.
That's what I was,
Yeah.
No, but like the body particularly. He's walking, he takes his shirt off, he gets into the pool and all of that stuff. And it was crazy. We cut salt 3 days before that, you know, to add that little sharpness. And so when we did cut salt, I made sure I was around him on set because I could see, okay, if we have to, worst case, give him something, see what's up. But man, he was too good.
Yeah.
He trained. He was like, you could see that he was pissed at me, but he also knew we have like I'm doing it.
Yeah.
It was a mutual understanding that even I was like, okay, come on, let's go. Okay, no problem. He'd be like, oh, like we're going. So I had to be, for me, more, of course, the programming and the training bit, but I had to be a little bit of a pest also because there was just very little time and no other way.
Yeah.
And yeah, we did the body shot. We finished in Sri Lanka. The second we finished the body shot, I was there, just taking the phone, ordered like 3 pizzas from, I think, the Taj nearby. And yeah, but he couldn't eat. He couldn't eat more than a few slices because then
your
you know,
body...
you feel like your tummy's gotten small, not eating, you're shrinking.
Yeah.
But it was a great process. Like we still, Night Manager finished a year. We just spoke about it. We're like, man, now it's a fun time.
Yeah.
That time I don't know, not so much.
Not so much.
But yeah, and it was a little tough for me because that was the peak of Aadarsh and Night Manager happened and I had to travel with Adi. Unfortunately, Aadarsh was shooting for a show in Mussoorie, Guns and Gulab. So I used to train him online in the morning and make sure he's doing that. Then I would chill, of course, at the day, train Adi. Then at night, I'd be on FaceTime with Aadarsh while he's doing his PM run after shoot. So it was like... And both of them would keep also asking me about each other's progress because they knew, right? Like Adi's like, you know, how's Aadarsh doing? You know, with Aadarsh would ask.
Like
So
motivate me a little bit.
It was cool.
Yeah.
And then Adi would tell me, okay, this is good. Let's look at his arms. Let's do something there. I was like, okay, we gotta do something there.
Fun.
I mean, if I'm not having fun, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, you don't
it was fun.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into supplements.
Venga.
Okay, the role of steroids in the fitness industry, and
It's
consumed a lot, and not
abused.
necessarily in a good way. What are alternatives? Are there alternatives really?
Yeah, just a healthy lifestyle.
Come
Find a more
on.
sustainable.
Really?
I don't get involved in that.
Okay.
I don't want my name attached to it. Again, I've
This
taken
is your opinion on it.
this is my take on it.
Okay.
I feel there's given time you can achieve what you want to achieve, and keeping it real has a more gratifying feeling to it all in all. And in terms of longevity also, it works. Whereas this, over a period of time, you know, it affects the heart, your skin, your energy levels. It's that that immediate gratification. I'm not saying it doesn't take in work. It comes in with a lot of work. You can't just, you know, be using and get ripped.
Yeah, like, yeah.
You got to work. You got to work for it. But I would not recommend use it or attach myself to it as a tool.
Okay.
And I'm very clear usually with who I work with. I was like, that's not how I want to get into it. So if we don't agree, it's okay. But I just want to know that,
You know that
let's
I'm
be
not on
honest.
board.
And
Yeah.
you know that I'm not from day one. So tomorrow don't ask me. Because I feel there's a way everything is figure outable.
Yeah.
This is something I used to tell myself on the road when I used to be in situations. Like stuck, I'd stop myself and say, okay.
So you
And,
get-
and you find a way.
Yeah.
If one part doesn't work, there's too many more. Just look for it.
Yeah.
But if you want it now and that's the only way, I'm not coming with you.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not saying I'm like fixated or stuck up with it, but I like the space I'm in. And I don't find the need to go in that way.
Yeah,
in
it's
that
better
direction.
organic. Yeah.
Yeah. I prefer it organically.
What about supplements? And are they really effective? And how do people
Absolutely.
know which supplements to buy?
Get proper guidance. Speak to a sports or clinical nutritionist, get your blood work in, let them advise you on what you need, what you don't need, what you're lacking, and let them guide you. Even your coach may not be able to tell you. He might be equipped with the information, but I would still say ask a professional to consult you because there's a lot that can go wrong.
But supplements are effective.
Of course it is.
Okay.
Like even in terms of even your protein. It's
That was my next question. Like
which is
the protein powder, which
it's
is
a supplement.
It's a supplement, right?
What do you do it? If you're not getting enough protein in your food,
Yeah, you need a supplement.
you supplement it.
Correct.
So it does the work.
But
It
are
does the work.
there side effects? Because ultimately it is preserved. It is not a natural source of food.
It depends on the brand also, but it also depends on the person. Like there are some proteins which, like a whey isolate may not work with some, may work for some. Some might feel bloated. Some might find trouble in their digestion system, and so it depends. But in terms of course, it's not organic.
Yeah.
It's still made. But if you're not getting enough, you're training a certain way, supplementing it, I still feel is okay. And now you have a lot of plant-based,
Yeah.
vegan proteins.
So are those as effective?
As a
Vegan-
way,
Yes.
see the protein consumption in them are not as much as that in whey, but it's still supplementing what you need in your food. So it also depends on your goals. It also depends on your individual approach to where you want to be in your fitness. If you're lifting heavy or training hard, it may not do the trick because it's not enough protein that you're getting. So it also depends on the protein consumption in
Your
whatever you're
diet,
taking
yeah.
in your diet.
Okay. What about restrictive diets? There are so many restrictive diets, and more often than not, they're not very sustainable. Like in that
Exactly.
sense. But do you think that they're counterproductive?
Yeah, I would say so. It's not sustainable, but like someone like Adi or Aadarsh for Night Manager, it was restricted like A for apple, like everything going in.
Give me an example of his diet.
Like for Aadarsh,
Yeah.
Aadarsh would call me at night with like he's like the thing of chocolate, like a bar of chocolate, saying, "Robin, one." I'd say, "Have it. You feel it? Have it." But he knows he's opened a gateway. Like for others, she'd be having a lot of eggs, his protein shake, followed by dal, vegetables, a chicken breast, another chicken breast at night with a little bit of mashed potatoes, but like just a little bit initially. Later, we even removed that. A snack in the evening, maybe some light oats, one peanut butter toast. Like with
What about
Adi was on a meal plan.
Okay.
So they basically send your meals to you. So they have a nutritionist. They discuss the macros with me based on the training plan. They set the macros and then the meals get delivered. Because we were in Sri Lanka. So they had like a chef for him and Anil sir. And the chef, based on the nutrition, would like try to cook, keeping the macros in mind, would cook something fancy for them. But again, the portions would be that much. I feel bad. Looking at him.
Yeah.
And you don't even, it looks good. Like, on some days there'd be like these kebabs, but with like no oil and probably no salt. And like, you feel bad asking him also. Like, now just Adi eat whatever goes in.
That's great.
So restrictive, it depends on what you're doing it for. Like for something like this, there's no
Alternative.
There's no alternative. You got to do it. An alternative would be something like the meal plans. You know, you're keeping your nutrition in check, but with fancy stuff. Adarsh, on the other hand, liked it simple. He's like, I don't want to get into the fancy bit. And he used to do it at home, keep it simple, stick to his vegetables, dal, chicken, eggs. I love that.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah, it worked.
It worked for us.
Okay.
Adi, on the other hand, there was too much going on.
So he couldn't really.
He didn't have time to put attention to all of this. And he asked me, like, do it. And he's done it before, it's worked for him. So, you know, it was just easier that way. But for someone like us, restrictive diets, year round, you're not going to sustain it. Mood is going to be affected. Like, you know, you got to find some sort of a balance. For me, Monday to Friday, I keep it clean. No sugar.
No sugar.
No processed sugar. I love my fruits.
Okay, yeah.
But I have my fruits first half of the day. So I'm, you know, I have time to burn it. Then my macros, I get, you know, my protein, my carbs, my fats. Calculated, I eat timely, I eat home food. On the weekend, I'm easy. But again, when I say I'm easy, I'm not like, oh shit, if I go out. No, not even that. Like a cheat meal. Not a cheat like
day.
Yeah, like a cheat meal. But I'm still aware, but I'm not crazy about it. You know?
And that's a very important point that I'm coming to, which is cheat meals or cheat days, because
Cheat
everybody
meal.
has it. Everybody
It's not
has
a cheat day.
Okay, fine.
I'd say that because a cheat day can go to any. There's no limit.
Yeah. Okay. So explain to me best practices for cheat meals. How often should you have them? What should you do? What should you not do?
I mean, for a regular
person, you're not like your career doesn't depend upon
one or two cheat meals a week, I'd say. And of course, like, you know, in moderation. And if you're doing anything in moderation, is okay. You're not going crazy with it. Like a cheat day.
Like I really want mac and cheese. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
You feel it?
Yeah.
You don't want to create that craving. Have it. The more I make you crave it, it's going to drive you crazy. It's going to have the psychological effect. No. Have it. But then learn to identify then between a craving and just a bad habit.
Yeah.
You know, now we can sit here and order anything and like it comes to you in half an hour. But find that. Like Misty told me this when I was with Adarsh. She's like, you're craving something? He's like, no, I'm not going to have it. But have it now. And we'll eliminate this craving. But for now, we'll have it. Or I'll give you a healthy alternative. If you're craving a pizza, let's make a pizza at home. It may not be the same, but it'll allow us some more time. So I'd say that. So in terms of, like when you call it, I feel just psychologically, when you call it a cheat day,
is unlimited.
You're looking to go crazy. You know? You don't even want that You don't even want it. But
okay, best practices for my cheat meal.
It depends, yeah. It depends on what your likes, dislikes. I love pani puri.
Okay.
And dosa. These are two things that I don't
What's wrong with dosa?
No, but like a dirty dosa.
Okay.
Like, you
cheese
know, on the street.
Yeah.
Like on the street.
Yeah.
And she's saying, what's wrong with dosa?
Yeah, I was, what?
Yeah.
Because I eat dosa very often.
No, it's made at home and like, you know, it's easy 1-2 max.
Okay.
But yeah, like that street dosa, like especially when I'm on the road, I've not come home. These two things. So once a week I have that craving, I go.
Yeah.
Yeah, not so much now. But for me, that's okay. You might like, I love pancakes.
Okay.
My Sunday morning, like for me, that's
it's
one.
A thing.
Not a thing, but yeah, the mood, I feel it. Okay.
Yeah.
Sunday morning, I say, I'm going to have pancakes today. I don't make them.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
So for you, depends. Mac and cheese.
Cool. Let's do some myth busting. Okay.
Yeah.
Because the internet is so full of misinformation when it comes to so many varied concepts, and there are everybody's making reels, everybody's giving you gyan, and nobody knows what is right and what is wrong. Me too. Also, that just not fitness, but like other stuff. So I'm going to read these out, and you have to tell me, bust the myth or fasted cardio is the best exercise for weight loss.
I wouldn't say best or worst. You never know. Again, each individual, it differs as per an individual. But I'd say it's a good method because overnight it uses your stored fats as fuel.
Okay.
So it's a good method. I recommend. I do
You
it
recommend it?
myself. I've been doing it myself for years every morning, and it's just a good way for me to start my day. I enjoy it, but I can't say it's the best. Like it'll be like people are doing it, then they'll tell me, Robin, nothing happened.
But you recommend it.
I'd recommend it. I'd recommend it for sure.
Lifting weights will make you bulky and inflexible.
Myth needs to end.
Okay.
Myth needs to end. Yeah, but in terms of inflexible, it does create rigidity. But you need to practice your mobility as well with that. Stretch after, stay supple.
Sweating more during workouts means you're burning more fat.
No, it's your water weight. But no,
No. Okay.
no.
Exercise machines are safer than free weights.
Maybe. See, your machines are more linear. It's more controlled. It also has room for error. Things can also go wrong there. So I won't say it's a safe tool, but then free weights probably. My opinion
Okay.
would be safer.
Safer.
All right, yeah.
Okay. Running damages your knees.
If not mixed with prehab and strength training.
Okay.
If you're only running.
Yeah. So you need that.
Yeah, you need to mix it up. You need to strengthen your joints and all your running muscles in order to be able to run well, right? So if you're just running over a extended period of time for over many years, it will catch up to you.
Okay. You can't really build muscle on a vegetarian or vegan diet.
You can.
Okay.
You can.
Okay.
Virat Kohli.
Yeah, I know. It's just
Sunil
gonna say.
Chhetri.
Yeah.
They're two of our greatest sportsmen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Karan Sahni. He's not vegan.
He's not vegan. Just said
I had to throw him in. Okay.
Yeah.
One for you.
Okay. What are the biggest mistakes people make when they approach fitness?
That it's not for me. That I don't have enough time. My work is too much. The gym is too far.
Yeah.
Not found the personal trainer. It just no. All through the podcast. Start 10 minutes. Even give yourself 20 minutes a day. You can do magic.
Yeah.
But start. Start somewhere. Move now. Move for those who can't. There are people who can't do it. Move for them. Move for yourself. You have the tools. You have the body. So move while you can.
Okay. If we want to be more in tune with our body, how do we listen to our body? You say like listen to your body.
Yeah.
What are some of the steps that we can take to really listen and understand ourselves first? Like what our body is telling us.
Through the softer practices. I'd say build a better relationship with the mind. Build a better understanding. Make internal observations. As we spoke, identify, accept, do not live in denial. If you are going through something, give it some time and find your way around it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say build that relationship with yourself first. And stop hating your current self so much.
Yeah.
There are people I've noticed that they're just upset with what they look like or what they used to look like and what they look like now. No.
It's like super negative talk.
Yeah. So first, build that internal love, build that connection. You're not at your best, but it's okay.
Okay.
Everyone has a down phase.
Yeah.
But you got to pick it up.
You have to pick it
So
up.
then get it around.
Fab. So we're down to our last question. And we'll close the loop on a few things, okay. in this question. Basically, for anybody who's looking to start their fitness journey, what would you say an ideal week of movement can look like?
An ideal week of movement would look like,
Like a schedule.
I would say number one is on Sunday, mentally prepare to give yourself the next 5 days, an hour at least on each day to train. So mentally prepare yourself for the week on Sunday. Set a time. Let it be 11 a.m. if it has to be. Preferably 7 max, 7, 8. But set a time in the morning so that you don't have too many triggers throughout the day to disrupt it. Start your day with it. Okay? Avoid any screen time till you do so. It plays a big role. Avoid any screen time till you do so. Allow yourself to start your day with some movement. Let it be probably 3 days of weight training, 3 days of body weight work, or 3 days of weight, sorry, 3 and 2, or 2 days of working on a skill, playing a sport. So if I'm strength training 3 days, I'm probably going for pickleball or paddle tennis or badminton or anything, just constantly moving. So it also keeps some sort of interest in it. The sport adds a little bit of competitiveness in it, so the playfulness in it, which you'd want to keep. And as you proceed week on week, take it slow. You can probably go through the same thing for week 2 and week 3. Then increase complexity, add a day to the week. Add some time to your training if you need to, maybe another 20 minutes to work on your mobility, to work on your mindfulness, to work on
The wall.
with the spine work. Start slow, even if you start with half an hour a day, but work towards it being a challenging experience, not a traumatizing one, and look at longevity.
Okay.
Don't set yourself a goal till the day you get married, but set yourself in a way that you're playing with your grandchildren and carrying them each on an arm, and you're there.
Yeah.
And you're ready to go. End of the day, what else matters, right? You're there. We're going. It's like, we're born supple and alive. When we die, we're hard, we're rigid in the grave. So you want to you want to keep that suppleness. You want to keep that flexibility all through it. You don't want to get rigid too early on, and with the strength to do what we're doing. So that would be my advice to start off with.
Okay. Some good advice. Thank you so much. I
Thank you.
learned quite a few things.
Man, that felt good coming out.
Yeah?
I didn't.
How profound.
Yeah. No, you were listening nicely, so it was.
You're a good listener. Thank you. And this
Thank
was
you.
really fun. And so much, I really enjoyed the fact that it was accessible information. Like in the sense, like I don't have to put too much into anything. It's easy. It's pretty effortless. And it's just good advice. So
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It was lovely.
Thank you for Googling me, team. Sorry, I'll do it again.
Okay.
Thank you for having me, Karishma.
Thank you.
I think your hair looks perfect.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. We hope this episode added value to your lives. Join the Realign movement. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you in the next one.